Hello everyone, welcome back. The second session for mastering element identification. So what we are focusing is how can we continue to evolve in the automation world for this element identification, especially team. So we kind of went through the first session very briefly, and what we focused on is the prerequisites that I would want you all to have while you're doing this. A lot of them team are available with iTeLearn.com, so you could kind of go through them. Now, some of the members, basic Java code, let me go to and get some links there. So it's handy for you also to quickly pick it up from there. I think Code Java latest, we did some. Yes, April 2019. And these are free sessions team that were there on the internet, so you don't have to be a member for that. I'm going to take this link and also put it up here so you can start watching that to get your entire hands onto Java. So Eclipse, Java, everything kind of gets covered there, a lot of these. Selenium ID or Catalan recorder, you can take any of the recent batches of Selenium that we did, and a lot of them, all these batches would start with it. So let's take the latest Selenium batch. Let's do the one which is ongoing is in JPACT. Let's put this one. All right, so I think these two links will be good for you. This is, let me put it here. And core Java. So these two links, team, keep them handy for you as we go along. All right, so let's see what we did in the first session. The most important aspect for us is to realize that we have multiple choices to identify elements. So how does this process work in the real life team? We're talking about how we go about identifying elements in a given application, and that is fine. That is one process of what we want to be doing. But how do we go about thinking about this concept? Where did it all come from? Let me quickly draw this and explain. So primarily team, we have evolved through the process of saying that within our real world, we can consider everything to be objects around us. Okay. Let us say there is one object and that object name is, for example, what object can we take, team? Let's take a home as an object itself. All right. Now, there are certain things that you can use to describe a home or identify a home. So those are called as properties. So you can use those properties to be able to say, where is my home located, like the postal address, or give it saying that it is the third home in the street, or saying that it is the one with the brown fence and so on. So I can use multiple ways to identify the specific home that we are in. Now, what is it that we could do with a home? There are activities that we can perform on any object team. Otherwise, it becomes basically useless objects for us. So you can live in a home, you can renovate it, you can sell it, you can rent it out, and so on. You can lease it. So there are multiple things that you're able to do on a home. Now, what happens is, if you notice, if it is my home or your home, they all have very similar things. What will change? The street address will change, the color of the gate will change, the square feet will change, the location will change. And what you want to do on them also is similar things. You will choose to do one activity at a time, but they also have the same kind of a properties to identify them. And sorry, this is a wrong drawing, team. I have to erase a little bit here. Did anyone notice what mistake I made? So this is not supposed to be coming from properties. This is not correct. Let me redo so that we are right about it. Okay, I jumped team, and that was not right. So let's see what I'm saying. There are properties to identify. So your street address, and sometimes if it is fourth or fifth home or this gate color and so on. And there are properties used to describe. Let me go back to the pen now. And there are properties used to describe an object team. So when you're describing an object, there are other things like, square footage. You can say how many floors it has. Does it have a pool or not, a backyard or not? All these details. Just by using that, you may not be able to identify a home. So that is how you can define or distinguish properties as two types. One, to use specifically to identify. Two, to be able to describe them. Okay, so that's the properties of a specific object that we see. Then comes, what is it that we can do on them? The actions or the methods that we can perform. Under them, for a home, like I was saying earlier, you can live in it, you can renovate it, you can sell it, you could rent it, or you could lease it. You have multiple options. Now, for my home, this is what is working. For your home, these methods of what we will do is almost the same. It's very hardly any difference, but what you choose to do is a different thing. The properties would change. The properties used to identify or describe would change, and so on, so on. So see, there is a general awareness about, okay, every home has certain properties. What are they? Street address. Then we have state, the entire address. We have maybe a zip, all those details that come into it, the country. All this becomes identical. Whatever home, these properties go into it. In description also, we know that, okay, it's gonna be a little different. We will say lot size, we will say built up size, we will say year built. All of those things are used to describe that further. So what I mean to say, these parameters to identify, these parameters to describe, let me use a different color if I can, and go back. So these parameters that I'm using to identify a team, these parameters that I'm using to kind of describe a home, and then these methods that are there for us that we can perform becomes something called as a class. All right. So class is like a blueprint. So anytime I take something from that class, it comes with this default structure. Okay, what do I mean? So home, my home is of type class. Your home is also of type that class called home. So every home is of that type class, that specific. So each object that you take will have the same structure. That you can change, you can do a little bit more additional things to make them look different. All right. Now, the same thing for homes or for people or for cars or for web-based application elements is the same concept. So what is it that now we are looking at to take this real life example into web-based applications? We are saying that in a given application, there are a lot of features that you will see, and each of them interact differently. All of this have been programmed internally. They could have used Java, .NET, or in this case, PHP to come up with this front end. Now, our Selenium automation tool does UI front end automation. So what it sees, what you see and what it can interact with in the web page, it'll do that. So what continues to happen is you have different types of elements that come up in a given application team. So each one behaves differently. Now look at it, what I mean to say. See, this is maybe a button or a link, but something that I can click on, correct? Now, can I type something into this? I cannot type into this. But here I can type something that I want. But out here I can click on it. How about these links? I can click on them. And as you go, let us say I go to login, or um, there is no sign up out here. We have to go to, there's no sign up here team. So it's a regular one. Now here, at least we have a few fields. Let me take a different application for this case because I want more fields to be there. So and that's exactly how we continue to do. So in our code, when we look at, where's my first code that we wrote yesterday, let's take a quick look at it. A simple Java class called iTeLearn_1. It has a main method. It can throw exceptions because maybe there's a wait or something that we used. A very, very simple linear flow. It's called a linear regression team. So anytime I want, I come in here, I can change it. In this case, maybe there are only 10 steps, but I could have a test case like this with 100, 200 steps, doing everything on an application that I want. That is a flow of it. So what is it that we are achieving here? We've set up our WebDriver, our few variables that we need. I have my input variables. Is this the one that we worked on, team? Uh, Day one, correct? Right? It looks very similar to what I gave. Oh, the phrases. Okay, search functionality. Yes. One of the members can't hear. And team, any questions? I know I would like to see the assignments from yesterday, but let's see where we are today and then we'll see that. Ting, 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 ting. No, you can. Okay, good. All right. Okay, so we've initialized the variable, my website, what search term I'm going to use. Element ID for search is phrase, element ID for search is clear. So what is it that we said here? One of the first and foremost ways for us to identify an element by using the ID or name. And that is exactly what we were writing also in this, that if we have an ID or name and it works, then that's good for it. How did we capture this team? We captured it by primarily right clicking on it and saying, where was it, iTeLearn.com. So we right clicked on the search and said inspect. And on the inspect, I could see that the name here is phrase, and that is what we took. I don't know if there's an ID also. And after we type something here, there was this icon coming up. We captured that as well. So right click again and inspect. Use Chrome browser team. If some of you are using IE, please stop right away. It's not automation friendly at all. And we got these details into trying to identify these elements. All right. I'm not going to go through that. Please look at day one. So all that we did is first we launched our Chrome browser. I told where my Chrome driver is. This is critical. So for every browser, you have your driver. You have to point to the right file. So then we have a new Chrome driver. So every time I say my driver, I'm pointing to it. manage window timeouts and maximize it. Now we come to navigating to the application. And then we're saying find element by dot name. In both of them, we are actually using the name attribute team. So the first one has a name called ISTQB, the next has called phrase. And we kind of went about entering them, sleeping for a few seconds, clicking on it, clicking send keys, and getting out of it. So let's run this once again. And while this is happening, there was an exercise I asked yesterday if anyone is able to do a quick login onto iTeLearn and show. Anyone could do it? I got one. Chitra, you did. Yalini, you did as well. Team, and these exercises, please take it seriously. So you're spending an hour with me, correct? And it's not that, and I can see you're not even watching any of the screens or switching. We get the focus reports also. All of you are focused. So put a few more minutes into learning, and that'll kind of help you more. So one of the things that we have not done in our code is error handling. So I don't know if this threw an error and it stopped. No, it actually came all the way till the end of my test. Now this is good. What I want to do next is going into doing similar tests, but not with an ID or name, but we'll explore more of link text and XPath. So we will start to write on that. Sure. So Yalini, do you want to show? Chitra, I saw yours also. And anyone wanting to present, kindly raise your hand, team. I'll make you the presenter. Yes, please.
Hi, Karthik.
Hello.
Hi. Actually, I tried this one with the TestNG.
Very nice.
Uh, so this is my code.
Okay, let's see. See, this is so interesting when you see different approaches, each of us do it in a different way, and how nicely it comes out to become to learn more things. Yes, please walk us through this.
Yeah, sure. So my class is iTeLearn login. I gave the
Hmm.
name as iTeLearn login. So this is my WebDriver. And my first is before method I gave here. So this is a setup. I did before method. I given all the
I see.
setup. Okay. So pointing to the Chrome driver, and this is my
Hmm.
object new Chrome driver, and I maximize it, and I given the page load, timeout, everything I have given, and then get
Hmm.
driver dot. This is my URL itlearn.com. So before method, I have given all the setup properties to go to the URL. So then I'm going to the test. So first I given that expert for this one to whether this login link is displayed or not. Okay. Then I'm clicking the login link. This one is
So one
I'm
second,
clicking.
let's look at this step number 24.
Okay.
Boolean b equals driver find element by XPath you're using.
Okay.
Which is the one? Can you show me in the application?
Yeah, sure.
And is there a way that we could do that without, how do I mention this? Without
Without
using
expert,
XPath?
expert. Okay.
Yeah. Does it have a link? Let's see. So inspecting. Hmm.
So I have the class also, but I tried with the class actually, but it is I'm getting no such element exception. So I tried with the expert.
Sure, but we can maybe just say link text is login. It is a, so what is happening here, and this is a good one for the team also to see,
Okay.
is A is for anchor text, which is we call as hyperlinks in, um, so this href is hyperlink reference to where it should go. But the text that comes after that is our link text. So the
Okay.
same code, let's try and make a change and see if it works, please.
Sure.
And we are saying it's a Boolean in that. It's very interesting. See what happens when we do that.
Shall I give this as a, this was a link?
We'll see. Just go back to Eclipse, then
Okay.
we can try.
Okay.
So, so what are we doing? There's a variable called b that we created. It's a Boolean variable. What will it contain? A true or a
Font.
false.
Mm.
So when will it give me, if it is displayed, that link, it will have true or else false.
Yeah.
And I don't think you're using that anywhere.
No, I'm not using it. Just actually.
Okay. Can I take control
Yeah,
and
sure.
maybe do a few things? One
Yeah, sure.
second. Okay, I think I have control, right?
Yeah.
So we're not using this, but I know that this element is important for me. Again, I'm repeating it here because we want to click it, right? So I'm not going to disturb your Boolean code, but let's say we copy this and I comment the earlier one. And here, now all I'm saying is, let us say I've not come to the stage of XPath or CSS. So if I see something as a link team anytime, just take the link text. If you notice that you're unable to capture the complete link text because it starts with something or it ends with something, but there's some other thing coming in it, then you can use partial link text. So if I say link text, the only thing I have to provide in that is, let's say,
Mm.
login. And then we're performing the same option again, action click. So how do we know for sure that this will work or not? Can you switch in the browser? Okay, I have switched my screens. One second. Ting, 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 and click. I think now it'll tell us if it's clicked on it. Now can we try this once you go through the remaining code review, please, for me
Yeah, sure. Cut.
from line 27. So we're sleeping for 2 seconds.
And I created a username password as a string.
Okay.
So I
Okay.
just gave that username and password as Alni and testing.
Hmm.
Uh, so now I'm passing the username to the username field, and
Name is
similarly,
log
yeah, name,
and ID
because
is sidebar. Hmm.
okay, this is my name ID. This is my element identification one. So I'm sending the keys password, which is going to take this testing,
Hmm.
and then I'm clicking the login button.
Now, can we try and see if there is an ID or name for that login button? Let us
So
inspect that again.
okay,
So
so
button type equals submit, and we have login. Yeah, XPath is easy. Class, okay. Right click on it, please. And let's go to copy. No, outer HTML we have. So XPath only will take. Let's say copy XPath and let's just paste it somewhere. Yeah, it'll only give us, oh, this ID VBP login form, is it? Oh,
yeah,
again, under that, there is a button. So that's the only way. So this is what we want to get towards in the next session on how we make sure that we can do it. So see, I couldn't identify this button, correct? Now we right clicked and copied this XPath. But how could we have evolved to write it? The only thing that I want to mention to everyone is go back to your app, please. In the code, when you look at it, see this button, right? Now this button, if you go up, there is a hierarchy always of elements within HTML code team. So if you just go up a little bit, see there's input, 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 just go up before that input even further. No, 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 be careful. Yeah. See that form name? Let me do 1 second. I'll do it 1 second. So everything is in under this form. So if I minimize this form, what happened? Okay. So you don't see any of those. So we have those three critical ones: input, input, button. So how can we, so let us say this has an ID or name, then how do we identify the element after it? Or let's say first input after it, or second input after it, or button after it. So this is good. We will look into that. But after I show XPath. All right, let's run your code now. Maybe just take a look at.
Sure, fine.
Thank you. I'm just taking the opportunity to also share some important ones. So in this class name, you said space btn hyphen primary. Is that
Yeah.
working fine?
Actually, just now I changed it before the class. So I tried, I explored lots of things and I tried with this one, but I didn't ran it. So I'm
Okay,
planning.
sure. Let's run, see, we'll at least see. What is your after method, please?
Okay, it's just closing the browser. That's it.
Good. So let's not close the browser this time.
Okay. So what I
We
can give it
will
in?
comment line 52.
Okay.
Now let's run. Because only reason is we are debugging,
Okay.
not Eclipse debug run team. We're just debugging through visually. We want to see what all is happening. So see, that's our control for automation is how we can master these elements. Is the website slow? Or mostly it is coming as part of network? I don't know, but at least it's done that. I don't think it clicked on login.
Login. Yeah. So it is not identifying that element.
Sure, let's go back to Eclipse. It wouldn't close. Okay, there you go. And so go up, please. No, I don't know. It didn't say anything. Look at the, where is the testng log report? I mean, error.
See, still now only I'm getting it. See, it's showing failure one.
Oh, now it's coming up. Okay,
Yeah.
sure.
Okay. So
No, not that one. Um,
okay.
no such element
Oh, this is the
exception.
one. Okay.
Yeah, come
Unable
down
to
a
look.
little.
Yeah,
Yeah,
set the
same
class.
thing.
Hmm.
Huh. So this we can easily change for now. Just go there. But of course, XPath is fine, but class name, can we change it? Because class name seem different.
Okay.
See, where is the class name here? Class is BTN, all this thing, right?
The one
Copy
region.
this.
Can I copy with outer HTML or?
No, no, just the select CSS. So double click there and then Control C. Copy that and put it in the code. You can put it in the code directly.
Okay.
And be careful of spaces, team. Oh wow, what did it do? Where did we copy this from?
From
We
there
got
only
this in,
I
yeah.
double click it and because it's showing the
No, it
same
didn't
X.
copy. This was the earlier copy that you did, the XPath. Actually, you
Yeah.
know what? Keep this 1 second. Keep this. Give me a second, please. Let me take. And see, whenever you see a space, please delete it.
Yeah.
I didn't know why it was not. Now we know that this will work through XPath, which we got it directly from right clicking. Now this you have to get it when you right clicked, you did not maybe copy it. So let's do it again. And please, all of you, just remember. Remember in terms of focus a lot on spell, spaces, everything important. And this one will be XPath, please, because what we're giving in that is an XPath format. Oops, oops. Thank you. Okay, class name. Now let's try. 33 should work, what we got. 34 is what we're trying with that class name. So let's see. Anyone else tried the same? We will also discuss on absolute and relative XPath, how and what, which one. So let's see. Okay, let this test run. It did not.
Yeah, I gave the same path also, Karthik, but it didn't
You
work
did?
out.
It did not work?
Same class path full. Actually, how you did right now, the same thing
Uh-huh.
I also tried, but it didn't work out. So I tried with XPath only. For XPath,
Okay, Chitra is saying that there's space, it seems. See somewhere. Last name has space. Let me
okay.
unmute her at least. So go back to your Eclipse.
I have
Actually,
done the same actually.
uh-huh.
So I have suggested her use only one class name because a lot of class name is there. BTN is one class name and BTN hyphen LG is one class name. So go with the BTN hyphen prime without space. Yeah, that alone.
Okay. I will try with those ways.
But how do you know that nothing else
I
will
have
work in that?
I have used it
Okay, we
because
tried,
I
as
just
in
want to show
trial
the
and error.
variety. Yes.
Sure,
Is it
sure.
fine, Chitra? Now I can run
Yeah,
it.
yeah, yeah. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
it's running
We're saying
perfectly
any
for me.
one class without any spaces. So, all right, great. And while that's happening, so let's take another application team. I want to take something more complicated to get into doing a few. Chitra, do you have something else to show on your side? The
Yeah,
code
I
once
have
it
a simple
finishes.
codes like only I have used not XPath like ID name and
Sure,
CSS
let's
name.
look at it just to
I
see.
mean,
Difference.
yeah, sure.
There you go. Now it works. Good. Thank you. Good job, Yalini.
Thank you, Karthik. And one more thing is I try to capture this error. So still actually I can capture only error invalid username, but it is not showing the full error like how it is showing in the application, like error invalid
It,
username, lost your password.
it will, because out here we are not pointing to, see, these are different elements
Mhm.
within the HTML code. So right click on that error. Let me do it. I'll show you.
Okay.
So if I right click here and I'm inspecting, okay. Now remember, I'm searching for three elements: error, invalid username, lost your password. Okay. All
Okay.
three may be in one container also.
Mhm.
So if I right click and say inspect and hasn't come, so let's right click again and inspect. See, you have the better option to choose that element, but I want you to read through the code as well, and that's why it's important. So see, I'm sorry. So see, this is error. Do you see the highlight going there?
Yeah.
This is invalid username, and then we have lost your password. So now all of this is there under div ID login error. So the first step that we can do is, so we know this is login hyphen error, right?
Right.
So in your code, if I just put, can I do a couple of things here?
Yeah. I just given this code. Try to capture this login underscore error. This is my ID.
Ah, right, good. That's there, right? First, I think you definitely want to put a sleep just to make sure. You can take it out if it's not interrupting later. So, okay. And okay, so I need this element for sure. So this is exactly what I need. Now, instead of seeing if it is displayed as of now, I want to get the text in that entire thing. I want to see what is it that the text is coming. So I would know if by capturing it, if I'm getting that entire text. Now, from there, how do we go to the child elements? I'll speak to you. At least we can get till this login underscore error. Let us see if this works once. Anything wrong I did in the code? I did it pretty quick, but all I'm doing is getting the text to see what it gets.
Shall I run, Karthik?
Yes, please. So if you go to the application and do like with the mouse, right? Select that entire error all the way to that link. What text you get by selecting your mouse, the same text will come in our output as well now.
Okay.
There's no close browser for us. So let's see what happened in Eclipse. Let's scroll up in the console. Little slow. There you go. So see, you get the entire thing. Error,
Yeah.
invalid username, lost your password. So go to the tab. If you select the mouse, it'll be the same thing. Okay.
Okay.
So what you need to understand is you can get the detail for the entire thing. Where was that?
I think.
It was there. You're right clicking. There you go. So see, what I'm saying is we can consider this whole thing to be one element or individually as well. Okay. In here, this whole thing is one element. I cannot see that, okay, this is one element. I have to do split strings for it. And this is one element. So it is the structure of what we want. If you want all the text in this that is coming up, then you can, say, I want to find this element first, the top one, and everything in that box I want to get. So this is the top one. So form underscore name is there, right? So you can also do print, get text on login form. What would happen? These are the ones that, will really help us to play around a lot, team. So, and once we master one, it becomes easier to keep going on the other. So if I just do one more and say login form, was it? I don't know if there was a space.
No.
No, correct. So again, I know it takes time to run, but it's always interesting. And let's close the browser this time because hopefully there'll be no error. If there is, we'll have to do it again. Thank you for letting me do it on your system, Yalini. Appreciate it.
No problem, Karthik. Thanks a lot.
Okay. Chitra, I'll see your code after this. Just see, that's how I would want to continue anytime. Now, what next on that? Anything critical you see to automate, start focusing on them. ID, name, CSS, parent element will come to parent, child, and XPath team. Okay, this is taking time, and then now we should know how to this. If it closes because we don't have try catch, it means that yes, everything went well for us. So let's see if it's got text. Maybe you have to hit escape first and then, okay. You know, scroll up a little bit for me. See, there you go. That was the first text, and then username or email address, password, remember me. That came from the form itself, the whole text from it.
Okay.
You saw that, right? Those 3 lines,
Yeah,
Yalini?
yeah. Correct. Yeah. I
Okay, good.
noticed.
All right, great. So Chitra, I'm going to make you presenter. Great. Thank you, Yalini.
Thanks,
Sure,
Karthik.
Karthik. Hello.
Yes.
Oh, yeah, you can hear me, right?
Uh-huh. Go ahead, please.
So let me run first and then I'll. Sorry about my voice. I'm not feeling well.
If you do too many trainings, your voice will get hurt.
Oh, I'm noticing your voice sometimes. You are just drinking a sip of water or something.
Sure. Okay, so this is the test running. So we are doing login.
So this is the final thing. I didn't close my driver. I'm going to explain this.
Sure.
So I have declared some variable as a string
Mhm.
type, and I have used some of the variables for the XPath and some of the variables for the like datas I'm giving here. So username and password I'm giving in this variable, and all other things are like ID. So I have taken a different type of locators. Like
Mhm.
first one is this is an error message, like what I'm going to just
Expect
check
at
with
the
that.
end.
Yes, and then this one is a link text. So
Okay.
this one is ID, and this one is name. I'm using a name locator, and
Mhm.
this one is a class name. I just,
Uh-huh.
for a
So
variety,
in
I
the
just
end, you're writing, is it?
uh-huh.
Okay.
And then this is again ID. Like I tried in a different way, so I took it.
That's nice naming too.
And here is my no, I'm launching my browser,
Uh-huh.
Chrome browser, and I'm maximizing the window, and I'm introducing the implicit wait for the whole application for 10
Line
seconds.
29, maybe you have to change that name. It should be EID message
Oh
ID.
yeah. Okay. I haven't used it because I was trying some other. I guess maybe I can.
But then how will you get the error from?
Let me check it. What I declared
Sure.
here. Yeah. So just
And it is
so
used
here I
down for
have
sure.
used the
That is
same
the
email.
main
That's
one
why.
for getting that error invalid email address. Sorry, I had to make you do that because it was very beautiful the way you wrote it. It's nice saying what element and the using what. That's good. Okay. And then so we're
I
going,
have keep on changing the things like XPath and this thing. So I don't want to introduce the XPaths. That's why.
sure,
Uh,
that's the idea too. So
yeah,
we have
I'm
a
going to
sleep
explain
for
this.
1 second and sleep for 1 second after this clicks. And then string we're capturing and then
Yes.
comparing. We're
I have
printing.
compared here. Yeah.
Perfect.
Actual. This is the one I'm getting it and comparing with the expected.
Okay.
And then just printing this.
You're also doing something. Okay, good. And that's the print statement. Perfect. Sounds good.
And I have one question, Karthik. Like,
Sure.
see, here, I'm facing, I don't know, this is still, I'm stuck with this. For anything, like
We'll
whatever
come
the,
to the that one in the next one in next session, please.
no.
So
This,
basically,
this one, I don't know how I can capture this line alone. This is the thing, it's feeling for me roadblock. Um,
only that one, right? Yeah, because it doesn't
any
have any
application,
application.
I'm feeling the same, like
Yeah.
whatever QA on air or a client application or this application.
Right
This
click
text
once,
alone.
copy, um, and also copy the full XPath once. Paste it somewhere. This one. Where are you pasting? Okay. See text. No, this would give entire text. Oh,
I mean,
oh,
this only pointing here, but it's not working on Eclipse. So I have tried in different way.
okay. Do me a favor, just print what
Hmm?
this XPath will give in the results in
I mean, in
Eclipse.
Eclipse, you're saying, right?
Yeah.
I mean, we are just inspecting, right? Get text, you want it, right?
Yeah, just use
Just
XPath
copy
driver
this.
dot find element. No, forget that. We don't need all that.
What?
No, just do
Can I change
driver
it?
dot wait.
Mm-hmm.
Do a simple print statement. No, that's all you need
Okay.
on that.
Yeah,
On same line
I'll
you
just
can write.
copy this and put it in the print
Okay,
statement.
perfect. Perfect. XPath. Yeah.
Okay, I'll just leave it like that. Is it okay?
Yes, you can run it.
Okay.
So let's look at the code once again while that run is
Mhm.
happening. Let it happen in the
Okay.
background. Don't minimize. Do not minimize. Why would you
Oh, okay.
minimize? Just you should click away or just because I get scared whenever we do that.
Okay. So you want me to see the
That's
code,
fine.
right?
Let it finish. Shut up. It's almost done too.
Okay, it's done.
So
So
no
it's
error, is
showing
it?
error.
No, there is an error.
Yeah, because it couldn't able to find the element. See, invalid selector exception.
Invalid selector exception.
Mhm.
Invalid selector exception. Okay, let's explore a little bit more on this for sure. So
Mhm.
this is now in XPath, this is where we would want to focus a lot of our energy. Not just the main element, child elements, and so on. How can we get? Go back to that application once. Right
Like
click
normal
and
application.
no, the same
Login.
where we wanted.
Oh, okay, so
We
inspect
want to
element
put
you're saying?
yes, correct on this, and
Yes.
let's do again.
This one?
Yes, please. Okay, so we're there now. Right click on invalid email address and just get the full XPath. I just wanted to see the structure of it.
This one,
In
right?
this, yes, get the full
I mean,
XPath. No,
XPath, right?
full
Or
XPath
full XPath. Okay.
and put it
Let me put
here,
it in the
please.
notepad.
Yeah. So this could be all the way. So
Mhm.
this is the other option. Now check if this is working. Okay, so again, once we get into XPath, we will go through both the absolute and relative and see what will work.
Okay.
Now, what we could do, see, this is also, okay, this is simple. Show me that. It has
Which
gone
one?
to div1. Divs, okay. Body, first div under it, and then text under it. So even this may fail if that failed, is what I'm thinking.
Mhm.
Yeah. But let's give it a try. Okay.
Sure.
Not now. I want to first talk about XPath and how we structure it. We'll talk about regular expressions in it, and we'll talk about how
So
we can
here,
do.
I have come through like we need to remove this or we can keep it as it is.
You have to
Like
keep
the
it.
first. Okay.
Yeah. And I think you'll require. You should have. Okay. The best I do typically is I write 5-6 statements like this with different XPaths and put a try catch.
Oh, okay.
Okay, let it keep doing, because for us output is important, and each time we do a run it goes through the entire thing. So ting 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 ting, let's see.
Changing
The
this. Okay.
only sorry,
Yeah.
oh,
Yeah. Go
it
ahead.
failed. Okay, on the same one.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and it doesn't say, element not found. It's just that it is not able to capture the text for it. Invalid selector.
Because already here is a text, right? Karthik, again we are getting a get text. So that's why it's maybe.
No.
I
Oh,
have
right.
tried with.
Could be.
Yeah.
Yeah, could be. Why you giving? Okay, text. Then okay. I have a 10:30. I need to drop off right away. Let's take this. Once I finish my XPath, I'll come to this. Okay.
Sure. Sure, Karthik. Thank you.
Great. So yeah, that's true. But that is how we are identifying that. Let me take this offline.
Sure. Sure. Sure, Karthik.
Thank you. All,
Thank you.
I'll see you back in the next session. Just wanted to let you know, I'm sure all of you are members, but for anyone of you who aren't, I may move this link to a new webinar. I'll let you know, team, if I am having to move. I'm not creating a Skype group specifically because it's a short one. What I definitely want to do is, tomorrow's session will also not next session will be go very basic into XPath. Once we stabilize this, last two sessions will be all about how we go about different dynamic stuff, okay, across the board. So we'll focus a lot on that. Let's get this checked for us, team. Great. I'll talk to you all soon tomorrow then. Take care. Bye now. Bye all.
Thank you, Karthik. Bye.
Thank you, everyone. Bye.